Hi everyone, welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies and update number 3 of our Revell 57 Chevy Bel Air. We have been busy. The crew has been non-stop, man. Let me get them out of the way here and we'll go over all the stuff that we did. Because I tell you what, it was a lot. Even Daisy says hi. Let me get all these guys out of the way here. Move the desk. We'll put the rollaway back. Even put the grill over here. I'm not going to start with the body today. First, I want to say hi to everybody at Boardman Hobby Shop. I stopped out there this morning because my poor... I don't even know if you'll be able to see it. But my 9-year-old brush finally gave up the ghost here. It was down to about 3 bristles anyhow, but I came down this morning and they were all like this. So I hate to even throw it away. I'm just going to kind of put it in the back somewhere because it did me well. But I went over to Boardman Hobby Shop and I picked up 2 new brushes. This one... I used both of them today, to be honest with you, but I used this to paint the Bel Air script on the back, and I can't wait to show you that. But I'll tell you what, it's nice. It's real nice. And then this one is 200. These are Atlas brushes, too, by the way. But... look at the point on that. And it's nice and long, too. So I can get enough paint on there to do good. And, geez, these are hard to put back on without my glasses. They hold enough paint to do good. Where I can dig right in. So, thanks to Boardman Hobby Shop, we had 3 generations there today. My son, myself, and my grandson, Luke, was there. The other thing I picked up, I found this the other day, is another holder for my 9 million alligator clips. They're a little sloppy in there, but I'll tell you what, it's a whole lot better than running out of room. So I can stage on one and paint on the other. But I had to show you that. Those things are like invaluable to me. Now, let's get to work here. We detailed up the brakes and the axles here. I even painted a little bolts on there and to hold it in, hold the rotors on. But just quick detail work. They are drilled out. I am going to run brake lines to this before I get to where I put it all together. The other one is over here. Did the same thing to this. I got the steering linkage all done. I remembered this time to paint the through bolt for the shocks. I always forget that. But these brakes have some good detail, and with the rims on there, they're going to show up nice. So I think that'll be really good, especially a little bit of bright and a whole lot of dark car. So we got those. I'm tickled with those. Last week I showed you my steering wheel, and it was just painted with flat red. That's 1 coat of quick shine on there. I let it dry, and then I used my green stuff paintable for the chrome. And I love it. It even has the little emblem in the center there for the little Chevy emblem. So that's going to look very good with the dashboard. And I showed you the dashboard. I didn't get much more done on it. Just been doing a whole lot of other little tiny detail work. Like the battery. And it's drilled out on both sides. So I will be running the battery cables. Over here, like I said, there's a ton of great detail in here. I dry brushed the springs. I'm not sure which hose I'm going to use, so I painted all of them. So So I don't have to screw around later on. The springs for the hood latches. And speaking of hood latches, I don't know if you're like me and you like to show off your engines. I mean, we put a lot of time and effort in our engines. But then, what do you do with your hood? You just kind of lay it down next to the car or lean it up against it and end up scratching it or whatever. Well, I bought a whole boatload of challenge coin holders. These are the military, and all kinds of people now have challenge coins. And that's what these are made for. But they hold our hoods perfectly. So now you can sit the hood next to it, show off the hood. If you got any detail painting on it, it'd really be cool. And then have the car next to it instead of leaning up against it. I don't know. I think it's a good idea, especially if you're taking them to shows or something like that, and you really want to show off that engine. So just something to think about. I think I got 20 of these for $6. They're just lightweight plastic, and you don't have to fold them. They all stack together too if you wanted to put them away. But they do hold. I brought this back out to show. They do hold the bigger one, but I had to put it on backwards because I still have the hinge part on there. But it does work, and it's out of the way, and it's not scratching the hood or the body. But most of the time it'll work out really well. So there is that. I just wanted to show you that real quick. The next thing is what I did mostly, and I had a hard time figuring out which one I wanted to do. So I actually did both and put them on there. I'll bring you down. Put them on the engine and looked at it and decided that I want to do the fuel injection. But I'll tell you what, we're not shy for detail. About 20 minutes worth of work doing the linkage and the fuel lines and everything. And this would be one heck of a nice carburetor. And I think what I'm going to do is I'll end up having this sitting on a shelf in the Texaco station. So it's not time lost. It's just not going to be used on this car. The other thing, talking about detail, the bottom of the radiator has the petcock, so you can drain your radiator. Now, how about that for detail? It's just keeps coming with this kit. There's just a ton of it. But this intake was done very well. So I decided, yeah, we're going to go with that. My fuel filter, check that out. I hope you can see that. It actually looks like there's gasoline and a filter in there. And what I did is I used, and you guys are going to go, really? I used my dark iron that I just got. I painted that on there and let it dry all the way. And then I came back over the top of that with clear yellow. And man, I'm telling you, I think that looks like there's fuel in that thing. So I couldn't be happier with that. The fuel pump down below, look at the detail on that thing. This thing just non-stop detail. The starter, we got our access channels. If you get this kit, and it's the Bel Air kit, in the instructions it shows the generator or the alternator. On the sprue, it has the bolt-on power steering pump. So I went ahead and threw the bolt-on on there. I drilled it. I am going to run the lines down to the steering, and it has both. It has the mechanical and the power assist. So you can do either way you want. I just thought, that's a unique way to set up power steering. And you just don't see it very often. So I had to use it. Nice support on the generator. Then I did paint everything out and detail it. My filter, I painted black. It has the nut on the bottom, so I painted that just chrome silver, along with all the nuts on this thing. I went nuts painting nuts on here, just for the detail of it, and just, give it a little bit of highlight. I did panel line all the aluminum. Well, I panel lined everything really, but that aluminum really shows up well. I didn't put the exhaust on because starting tomorrow morning I'm going to do how I'm going to wire and plumb everything. I drilled holes all over this fuel injection system so that I could plumb that in a little bit too. I'm not going to go crazy with it, but I am going to do enough to make it to where it doesn't look just like it's all mechanical. There's a lot of hoses and lines and stuff that go back and forth on that. And on top of that, there's two more pieces to go here. One of them is our air cleaner, and this sits on here like this, and this will all fit underneath the hood. But that's our air cleaner. I painted that with Gallery's paint pen, and man, did that come out looking like aluminum. It's perfect. And then the other thing on there will be the inlet hose. And what I did is I painted semi-gloss the whole thing. I painted semi-gloss black. And then I came back and I hand painted the rubber black on there. And then came back and painted the two clamps. And those clamps are that big and aluminum on the car. I mean, I saw a bunch of pictures. What I didn't do yet is I didn't do the flat black where the intake part is. Check that out. I mean, they even went that much detail to put the little intake grid on there, the screen. So we'll paint that flat black with the semi-gloss and all that, just to kind of show that off, because this is going to sit, I don't know, somewhere around here on the radiator head. It actually sits down on it. It's got the notch on there so you can put it in place. So when you have the hood off, you will be able to see that. And I think with the flat black, it'll show off that screen a little bit more. Either that or I'll dry brush it with flat aluminum. But we're going to see how the flat black looks first. I got the rear end all painted up. I painted it the flat black, and then I painted over top of that. Believe it or not, that's gunmetal. And over the black, I mean, wow, does that look great. So we are this close to final assembly, believe it or not. Once I get the engine all wired up, I'll be able to start assembling this thing. The one thing I haven't done, and it's just because I haven't gotten the guts to do it yet, but I think I'm going to, is I think I'm going to smoke the windows on this. So if I do, that'll be tomorrow. I do have Tamiya's smoke up there, so I think I might as well go ahead and do it. Let me pause here for just a second. All right. I wanted to get the body over, and I wanted to set up here real quick. I did go with the black trim, and I want to thank a whole lot of people in the comments telling me don't do the red. And as soon as I hit it with the black, I was like, no, that red wouldn't just look dumb there. I don't think that, because this is the color it would have been, and I think it would have just literally stuck out like a sore thumb. So thanks for the suggestions, because I would have painted that first and then painted the black in, and then had to go back and mask it and repaint that black. But painting that, I used my 0.2 millimeter Gallery's Mobius airbrush, and I'm telling you, that thing did a good job. My Tamiya's gloss black was thin enough to where I didn't have to do anything but put it in the airbrush and go to town. So I had this all painted in less than 5 minutes. But it took me literally, it took me the whole movie of Creature from the Black Lagoon and about 3/4 of the Revenge of the Creature from the Black Lagoon, because I was watching them while I was on. My new paintbrush, thanks to Boardman Hobby, I hand painted the Bel Air emblem in the back. I didn't want to go white. I didn't want to go silver. I didn't want to go straight gold because I think that would have just, I don't think it would have looked right. So I used titanium gold on there. And it's bright enough to look good, but subdued enough to not look gaudy with that black. So that's, like I said, the titanium gold X31. And I've been using this a lot. I use it for my carbs. I use it for all kinds of stuff. But boy, I'll tell you what, that new paintbrush, that was actually easy to do. It took me 20 minutes to do both. And I don't think that's too bad. The small one I didn't even need to use. I used it also up front. I painted the, I don't know what you call these, gills or whatever, on the front here, the trim. I painted those with that brush too. I wanted them black. The only bling on this is going to be the Bel Air on that. And then on the dashboard, the front bumper, I am going to use the Chevy decal in the center. There's nothing there. There's nothing to hand paint on that. So I'm going to have to use the decal or just leave it blank. And I don't want to leave it blank. But now you can really see this coming together. Let me pause here for a second, and I'm going to put the bumpers on. There you go. That only took me about 20 minutes. No, seriously, it took me about 2 seconds. But now you can see what I was going for here with the gloss black on everything. The rims, I'm glad I made that choice. I'm glad I didn't do the red. I was going to outline those in red. And I'm glad I left that the way it is. This is going to look great. It's going to be lowered, just as, the lowering on it and the low profiles. But I think that's going to be just right. I masked all this off when I painted it, except for this centerpiece. And you could see that in that video that I took while I was spraying it. But then it was easier for me to not mask that and then just to come back and brush paint it. And I figured just that center section, if I mess up, I could come back at it with the black on either side. But with that brush, I didn't have to do diddly. It laid that paint down there really, really nice. I also did not do the center post the gloss black. I left them the gray. I wanted that break. I think that looks right. And with the back windows smoked, because I'm not going to smoke the front glass. I'm just going to smoke the back three. I think that's going to really look good. So with that, I don't think this is a very long video, but it sure covered a lot and took me a long time to get here. But with that, we have to thank Gallery for everything they've done. If you're looking for an airbrush, check out Gallery. If you do decide to get one, Grandpa Mark is a coupon code for 10% off of what you get. So don't be shy and use it. I want to thank our veterans, first responders, and active duty. Without them, we can't do what we're doing here now. I also want to say hi to Jason, Mike, and Bruce on Automotive Model Car Livecast every Thursday night at 8 p.m. They are a blast to watch. They really are fun. They make an hour or an hour and a half really fly by. It's past my bedtime, but I do try to stay up on Thursdays to at least throw some comments in there, say hi, and give them a hard time. But there we go. We are on it now. All my little stuff, except for my engine, is ready to rock and roll, so I honestly think the next update, this might be done. I am doing a video on wiring the engine. There's no sense in showing you a video on building it. Everybody can follow the instructions, 1, 2, 3, and put it together. But the wiring, I've had a lot of people say, hey, can you do another one? So I'll put one of those out. It should be out next week sometime, I guess. But what a great engine to do a wiring video on. A ton of details. You see, I did use the aftermarket distributor again. That's a 3D printed distributor, and it was I got a ton of them in here. I bet you I got 100 of them in there, and I'm going to use them until they're gone because they do make life a lot easier. You can pick them up online if you want to. If you don't want to, you take your distributor and just shave that off, drill a bigger hole in there, and lay them in, especially on this where it's going to be all the way back against the firewall. You won't see it anyhow. But enough of me talking. I'll let you go. Y'all have a great day and a better tomorrow, and thank you very much for watching.